The Leonardo da Vinci of ancient China was Zheng Heng, an inventor, astronomer, engineer, scientist, scholar and artist. His most intriguing design created almost 2,000 years ago was the design of the first earthquake sensing device invented. This ancient art science instrument named Hufeng Didongyi could remotely detect earthquakes hundreds of kilometers away. Known as a seismoscope, this sensing instrument was the very beginning for science in the field of seismology. To indicate the direction of a distant earthquake, Zheng's device dropped a bronze ball from one of the 8 tube projections shaped as a dragon's head. The ball fell into the mouth of a corresponding metal object shaped as a toad, each representing direction in which the seismic wave was travelling. His device had 8 mobile arms connected with cranks having catch mechanisms at the periphery. When tripped, a crank and right-angle lever would raise the dragon head and release a ball supported by the lower jaw of the dragon head. The seismoscope device also included a vertical pin passing through a slot in the crank, a catch device, a pivot on a projection, an attachment for the sling and a horizontal bar supporting the pendulum. There are no clear historical documents and physical remains of Zheng Heng's seismoscope device. Several reconstruction designs have been attempted to replicate Heng's original seismoscope, which today is still a famous but mysterious instrument. Many scholars try to reconstruct Zheng Heng's seismoscope in the past 150 years. In 1961 in Sibiu, Romania, a manuscript by an Austrian military engineer by the name of Konrad Haas was found. In the manuscript, Konrad Haas put into writing some amazing concepts about rocketry at a time when these concepts did not exist. He lived between 1509 and 1576. He's the first person known to put into writing the concept of multi-staging, that was later incorporated by Johann Schmidlab. He also writes about spacecraft's delta fins, bell nozzles and even liquid fuel. The Sibiu manuscript discovered in 1961 is a collection of around 450 pages that include, among many other things, details of 3-stage rockets and manned rocket flights. Many of us are unaware of the fact there are countless ancient manuscripts scattered across the globe, describing what many consider as important achievements of the past. One thing we can say is the manuscript is real, and it does in fact describe among other things liquid fuel and multi-stage rockets, and it was officially published in the 16th century, although many believe it was written using texts that go back further in time. The Sibiu manuscript was found in 1961 by Duru Tejruku, a professor of science and technology at the University of Bucharest. The manuscript contained around 450 pages which were recovered from the archives of the city of Sibiu in Romania. To his surprise, the ancient text was flooded with drawings and technical data on artillery, ballistics and detailed descriptions of multi-stage rockets. Referred to as the Sibiu manuscript ever since. Konrad Haas is believed to have been a military engineer who worked for the Kingdom of Hungary and the Principality of Transylvania. It remains a mystery whether or not Haas managed to use his designs and put it into practice, but there are some that claim a rocket launch was carried out in Sibiu in 1550, but there is no documentary evidence to support these claims. This script could solidify the theory that going back, man was more advanced than we thought. Located in the Peruvian coastal plain, the geoglyphs of Nazca cover an incredible 37 miles. They are among archaeology's greatest enigmas, because of their quantity, nature and size. The geoglyphs depict living creatures, stylized plants and imaginary beings, as well as geometric features several kilometers long. The startling feature of the Nazca geoglyphs is that they can only really be appreciated from the air, raising questions about how and why they were created. The Nazca lines number in their thousands, and the vast majority of them date from 200 BC to 500 AD. The earliest lines created with piled up stones date as far back as 500 BC. The Nazca people were an ancient prehistoric culture that was successful in using engineering techniques to bring underground water to the surface for irrigation. However, little is known about this culture as they left no written record. The figures come in 2 types: biomorphs and geoglyphs. The biomorphs include around 70 animals and plant figures that include a spider, hummingbird, monkey and a 1,000-foot-long pelican. They are grouped together in one area on the plain, and archaeologists believe they were constructed about 500 years before the geoglyphs. There's around 900 geoglyphs on the plain. Geoglyphs are geometric forms that include straight lines, triangles, spirals, and circles. They are enormous in size. The longest straight line stretches an incredible 9 miles across the plain. The lines were made by scraping away the reddish iron oxide covered stones that cover the desert surface to reveal the white sand beneath. In most places, wind, rain, and erosion would quickly remove all traces of this within a year. At Nazca though, the lines have been preserved because it's such a windless, dry and isolated location. Although these perplexing lines were first discovered by Peruvian archaeologists, it was not until the 1930s, when air traffic in the area increased, that the lines became widely known. Although the lines can in fact be seen from the ground, there is nothing remotely exciting about seeing them from this perspective. However, from the air, their true beauty and the wonders of their creation can be realized. In the Qutub complex of Delhi stands one of the most curious metal objects in the world, the so-called Iron Pillar of Delhi, which does not seem to rust, despite being over 1,000 years old. The height of the pillar from the top of its capital to the bottom of its base is 7.2 meters, of which 1.1 meter is underground. The base rests on a grid of iron bars soldered with lead into the upper layer of the dressed stone pavement. The pillar's lower diameter is 420 millimeters, and its upper diameter is 306 millimeters. It's estimated to weigh more than 6 tons. While several inscriptions are found on the pillar, the oldest one is a 6-line 3-stanza Sanskrit inscription in verse form. As the name Chandra is mentioned in the 3rd verse, scholars have been able to date the marking of the pillar to 375 to 415 AD. Although it stands in Delhi today, how this pillar got there and its original location is still a subject of scholarly discussion. As mentioned, one of the most interesting qualities of this pillar is its resistance to corrosion. Several theories have been put forward to explain this phenomenon. These theories fall into 2 main categories: material factors and environmental factors. One of these theories, the mixed potential theory, suggests there is a correlation between the processing structure and properties of this pillar's iron. Based on scientific analysis, it's been shown that these 3 factors work together to form a protective passive layer of rust on the Iron Pillar of Delhi. As a result, the pillar does not undergo further corrosion, and appears to have not rusted over 1,000 years. In 1938, a number of small jars were found in the collection of the National Museum of Iraq. These jars, previously overlooked, were found to be quite unique. Each contained copper and iron, and was sealed with asphalt. It was hypothesized based on the various components that they were a type of battery, possibly used to electroplate metals. Since they were noticed long after they had been taken from outside their archaeological context, not much else is known about them. Mythbusters, the television show, recreated them and found they were able to hold a charge, and electroplate quite effectively. Pseudo-archaeologists and ancient astronaut theorists consider it to be one of the best examples of ancient technology that originated not on Earth. The Baghdad battery belongs to a number of ancient artifacts that has caused much debate in the field of archaeology, and while the feelings are mixed among scholars, there are several theories backed up by different individuals ranging in beliefs. We may never know their true nature, but no doubt people will continue to speculate on the purpose of the Baghdad battery for a long time to come. Some of the original 12 Baghdad batteries can be seen in the National Museum of Iraq. It was believed that the batteries were used in ancient times for electroplating gold into silver objects. Until today, this claim has not been proven and there is no evidence to support it. Ancient astronaut theories suggest that ancient Egyptians were very familiar with the Baghdad batteries. They might have been used to provide light in the chambers of the pyramids and other places according to their theories. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.